All right, well, I'm excited to be here. I hate this feeling of walking past all this gear and not getting to talk about it, but we will get to talking about that. But we're here at Downtown Sound Recording Studios in Hamilton, a place I didn't know was here, and I think that's intentional.
That's we're the best kept secret.
And we're with Mario. Thanks for having us.
Oh,
today,
you're very
buddy.
welcome. I'm happy you're here.
So I want to know, because I pride myself in trying to know most studios in town, but you got away on me here. So how long have you been in this building here?
Been here, well, we took possession 2012.
Okay.
Did some renos, opened in the spring of 2013.
Oh, okay.
So it's coming up to our 5th year anniversary.
Yeah. That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We're putting together a little party.
Oh, nice.
There'll be more details announced.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, 5 years. That's a good accomplishment.
Yeah.
Well, I love, and the folks at home won't get to see this, but the shop out front is a great little disguise.
It's like, the meek, mild.
Yeah.
You'd never expect it.
It's kind of like the Bat Cave.
Right, exactly.
You do need a little revolving bookshelf. You should work on that.
Yeah, so we're kind of in the back of a building. We're in the Barton Street East, just east of James. Very central, easy to get to.
Great
Lots
location.
of, bars, restaurants, coffee shops. You're never going to go hungry.
What kind of work did you have to do? We've got a window to the control room, but what kind of work did you have to do in this room?
Primarily, it was isolation.
Yeah.
Adding additional drywall. Had to put some panels in the windows.
Right.
I would love to have the sunshine, but you do lose a lot of sound, and I don't want to bother the neighbors.
Sure, and security purposes too.
And security, absolutely. Yeah. Double doors.
Right.
That's
a thick wall.
Yeah, that was an exterior wall originally.
Really?
So cutting through it, like we had a contractor, and it was dust, like red dust.
Oh, man.
But it really helps because it just gives us a lot of flexibility. We can have, apart from being able to see each other, you can have a band member, if somebody's playing an acoustic guitar, don't want a lot of bleed, put them in the control room, but they can still see each other play.
Yeah.
So we always get that live feeling.
So that was an exterior wall, and the control room, I think it's a great size.
Yeah.
Could you choose how big the live room was versus that, or was it because of the exterior wall?
It would have been difficult to make the control room much larger. That wall was like double brick.
Right.
And to knock it down, and it wasn't worth it. I did check the dimensions before we bought the place, actually. And they were good.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a lot of, nodal problems and all that stuff.
What are these here? Did you make these, or did you buy them?
A Hamilton company.
Okay.
They're called Forward Acoustics.
Okay, that sounds familiar. Ollie, yeah.
Great guy,
musician.
knows what he's doing. They do,
and they did these ones here too?
They do.
Right.
But it was basically an assessment of just how much absorption we needed. And it's worked out great. I mean, I can get great drum sounds without it sounding, the ceilings here are like 8.5 feet.
Sure.
So they're not huge.
Yeah.
But absorbing some of the reflections helps. And also I tend to project out, put room mics back there.
And we've talked about this before, it's not dead.
No.
Which is nice.
No.
It's nice. It's controlled, but
for you engineers out there.
Right. our mics are just going to hear that clap.
Yeah, well, for you kids at home.
So is it, I think I know the answer, but a lot of people are building their own today. They're, building frames and putting insulation in it. Is it worth it to have a pro come out here for you? And
well, it was primarily, it's kind of hard to explain. I had a lot of people that I was able to consult.
Okay.
Experienced engineers, people who'd built their own studios, So I was fortunate that way.
Yeah. Well, you said you used this as a rehearsal space.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of people, we talked about this off camera a little bit, a lot of people are shy about saying that they, you know, restrict themselves to a genre or that they prefer a genre. But you kind of have a genre that you gravitate?
I joke around and say, bring me your surf, your garage, your punk rock. Please, come.
Yeah. Well, I think that's appropriate.
I mean, you don't see any keyboards here other than the one in the corner.
Right. Yeah.
Although having said that, I was fortunate. We were speaking earlier. Last fall, I had Chris Houston, Forgotten Rebels, a punk rock icon. He did a 7-song project here, and he brought in all sorts of great people.
Okay.
And he had Michael Fonfara, who I mentioned was Lou Reed's keyboard player on some of my favorite Lou Reed albums.
Unbelievable.
Starting with Sally Can't Dance in like 1974 or something. Sweetest guy. And Chris was also just, I mean, lots of ideas, lots of crazy ideas, but also just very accomplished performances.
Sure.
And then he this is kind of a historic record because he brought in on guitar, he had Mickey DeSatis.
Right, from town,
from the Forgotten Rebels. And he also brought in the original drummer for the Rebels on In Love with the System. So this was kind of like a reunion album.
How long were they in here for 7 songs?
Well, we were probably here for, I can't count the hours, but in terms of days, you know, it was a few, maybe 2 weeks of recording, mixing.
Yeah.
We also mastered it.
Right.
But kind of spread out a little more. It wasn't like we were locked in. That
must have been a lot of fun, eh?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, a lot of partying.
Just crazy ideas.
Yeah.
Not so much crazy partying. Well, there was some. But just amazing to listen to.
Sure.
You know, Chris's record, which is supposed to drop any day, it's got like cascading keyboards.
Oh, cool.
Right? And the songs are like quirky. And so that was great.
So what I really want to talk about, and I think people love little quirky tips from the studio. But when I came in here, I thought, what the heck is going on? Why is this PA down on the ground? So talk to us about this.
All right. This is a, wedge monitor.
Yeah.
10-inch speaker. And of course, a speaker is a transducer. And in effect, it works as a microphone if you go backwards. Yeah. Right? Well, instead of reproducing sound, it captures the sound.
Right.
And it doesn't give you the click or, any of the high end of the kick. All you're getting is this big thump. Right?
It's amazing. I love it because we were talking about earlier, a lot of the homemade sub kicks, that people take a speaker and try to put it welded onto a stand.
I say just put the thing on the ground.
That's a great idea.
It stands on the carpet.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I got to hear that. I think that's awesome. I think people love that.
Yeah, it adds oomph.
Yeah.
Not a lot of definition. So I always use a regular.
Right, but paired together, it's cool.
It's amazing.
I think that's a great idea, and it's already wired up, and everything just goes in backwards.
It just goes in.
Smart.
I use Snakes as my, plug-in channel boxes. Got one for my preamps, one for the board.
Oh, nice.
And then the returns work as headphones outputs. Okay. Right.
Did you leave a tunnel into the control room?
There's a little tunnel, which, lucky to get the cables through there. Yeah, that had to be drilled too. That was a whole other
I want to talk about amps because it's in your genre and we've got some nice pieces here. I'm not a
guitar guy.
I'm not a guitar guy. Well, definitely not an amp guy. But so tell the people at home about some of these amps here because I think they'll love them.
Well, if we look at the Bassman here, which I was just recording through, this is actually a 1964 Bassman. It's got the blackface cosmetics, but it's actually the early 60s blonde circuit. So I think the model number was like 6G6B. Okay. It's the same amp that Brian Setzer uses,
right?
But his is the original blonde. So this was a transition model.
Incredible.
And it sounds killer. Instead of the bright switches that you would have on a mid-60s blackface Bassman, it has the presence knob control rather than the switches. And it's just amazing.
Is this your recording setup here?
Yeah, that's what I was using. 57. Now, I'll typically put the ribbon.
Okay.
That's a ribbon.
Oh, it's a ribbon,
That's a Russian. This is like 1940s technology.
MJI or what's the
no, they're made Octava.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they're Russian made.
Wow.
But I like them because they're like your early toaster, early, I don't know, fridge, like the fridge doors that are.
And that's a ribbon, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what I'll do is I'll typically have the ribbon back just a little more. I just try to make some room.
Yeah.
But here's another trick, you kids. I'm giving away everything.
That's okay.
Well, actually, I learned that from a young fellow.
Yeah.
But yeah, using an SM7 on a cabinet, it's like a 57 on steroids.
Right. Do you get more low end out of it?
Yeah. It's bigger, punchier. But I like them together. I still like the SM57.
Yeah, it's funny how I've tried different things on an amp, but you always do end up coming back. That 57 is a great sound. If you had to pick one, it's cool.
It just sits where it should.
Right.
And you gotta watch out for phase issues and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
But I also find having the ribbon kind of picks up some of the room or some of the depth.
Right.
Gives it more air.
Yeah.
So
what else you got in
well,
here?
there's a Tremolux.
Okay. And what year is that from?
This is 66.
Wow.
It's a great. It's got great tremolo on.
Are they a lot of work to keep them up serviced? And how often do you have to get them worked on?
If you use them regularly, they're usually okay. I've got a couple of. There's always something to be repaired.
Right. But
generally,
if you're not taking it on the road, I guess they do better, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And, the other thing that's nice about them is they're not moving. They don't have moving parts.
Yeah.
They can always be repaired,
Right.
They're point to point. They're not PCB
circuit
boards.
Yeah, that's true. Right? And what about over here? It's a Princeton Reverb. That's a great little thing.
That's a great amp. Back here, we have a Silverface Dual Showman, but this is still the blackface circuit. It's like it's 763. I think it's AB763 circuit.
Wow.
This thing is loud. Loud.
What do people go for? What impresses people most in this room? Like what do they go for? What do they want to plug in?
My personality. No, I'm kidding.
Typically,
the Princeton.
Yeah.
Or I have a deluxe reverb as well.
Right.
Those two probably get the most work because they just suit the size.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this. A nuclear bomb goes off over there on James. What are you running out with? You only pick one.
The bass.
This guy, the bassman.
Bass. Yeah. Well, the microphones.
Right.
There's a pair of 414s.
Yes, I saw those. I love 414s.
Yeah,
I've never tried them for overheads.
They're great.
Oh, I bet.
They're great.
These are great.
Again, I'll let you hear some of it.
This is, okay, so C14 Do you know what model number this is? Like it's ULS?
XLS.
XLS,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I've seen those used a lot for overheads.
Yeah.
Or even
they're
tom,
awesome.
too. And
Yeah. Although I'd rather use something slightly less expensive for toms. Because
further away.
There is, always...
Hey, what do you got under the snare?
Oh, that's... what is that? Jeez. It's another...
Sennheiser.
Yeah, Sennheiser.
Okay. 609.
That's a 609.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
My goodness, you know what I'm going to do after this studio tour series is over? I'm going to write a book about all the different mics that people use on snares.
Yeah.
It's like every studio I go to, somebody's doing something different. I mean, 57's obviously, but everyone's got a neat little trick with
the
snare.
Audix i5 is another good
Is that
candidate.
a condenser mic?
No, that's a dynamic.
Because I've also seen guys use condensers on the snare bottom.
Small diaphragm, like pencil mics.
Well, I've even seen large on the to get the snares.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Interesting. I find it picks up the bottom of the snare like plenty.
Yeah.
In fact, I tend to keep it back.
That's my least favorite.
Yeah,
mic.
I mean, it just adds a little
sizzle. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great looking
toms, snare. It's a nice snare.
Yeah.
The drum, these are not high-end drums. Like, I'm the first to say. But
it's all about the player, right?
They sound great in there. And Jack Pedler has played these. Joe Santos, lots of guys in town. Nobody's ever complained.
Yeah. It's great. Well, I love this room. I like that you use it for rehearsals.
Yeah.
And
to the professional musician.
Oh yeah, no,
by appointment only.
Well, we've talked about that with a lot of people. I think that there's a certain there are rehearsal rooms for those other bands. For high school bands and stuff.
I mean, everybody's.
You got to. I think you got to work your way up, and I think that I think a lot of the bands that you don't want in here can't afford.
That I don't.
No. I know. I shouldn't have said that. I mean, like, I just think everyone graduates to a certain level. You start in your basement, you start in your bedroom, you start in your basement, then you go to your garage. But I think a lot of places, they're not at the stage where they can afford to rent a space.
Yeah, and given the fact it's just one room.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to a rehearsal space, I mean, there used to be tons of them in Toronto. They were just room. And you'd have gear that usually worked, often didn't.
Right.
You'd have nobody gave a shit about, pardon my French, nobody really cared about whether the stuff was working, Whereas this is different because I'm primarily a recording studio. I like to leave my drum mics up, just for convenience. But you want people, basically I want people that I know and trust.
Yeah. I totally agree.
And it's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some really fun people in here.
This board here, so Soundtracks?
Yes, this was an English company. Actually, I got it from a guy in Tennessee somewhere.
Really? Did you drive down and get it?
No.
Okay. Did he deliver
had it shipped to Buffalo. This is actually a funny story. When we were bringing it over the border, you have to go through like the commercial part, go to the warehouse. So we go there, and the guy... So you have to take a number and stuff. And you got all these truckers and stuff in there. So it's like Acme Trucking. And a guy goes up and he gets this thing. Smith Transportation. Guy goes over. And it's Downtown Sound. The guy is singing it. But anyway, it's...
So they had to check it if you had full of cocaine inside it, right?
Yeah, well, anyways, it's...
Maybe you did,
It's got that English sound. It's got an awesome EQ.
Yeah.
It just sounds really good. I mean...
Are you okay over there, Jay?
I'm all right. Just tripping.
High pass filter.
Correct.
Jay will do a strip of this here, but...
Yeah, it's pretty typical.
Very cool.
the routing uses this
So what?
prehistoric digital routing, which is the weak spot
Right.
in the board. But otherwise, the sound itself is awesome.
What do you use it for?
Primarily, well, as you can see,
drums,
primarily
right.
drums and bass.
Right.
Just to kind of give it some cohesion.
Yeah, no, that would be
rather
nice.
than putting stuff through different pre's, you know.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it sounds killer.
Yeah.
Sometimes I also will mix through it, but ultimately it goes back in the box anyways.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
What I typically do, and you know, I'm using outboard pre's. Say I'm recording drums.
Yeah.
The kick will have some compression. The snares will have some compression.
Right.
Sometimes the toms. Any other compression, like on room mics and so on, I'll add after. But certain things, including vocals, will benefit from a bit of compression in the recording process. And then we were sort of talking about the patch bay. That allows me to also mix through my outboard compressors, EQs,
of course.
And so on.
Before we move over to this rack, which has a lot of goodies over there.
Yeah.
This down here, you have an M610, which I have the same one.
Oh, those
they're very rare.
Oh yeah,
but they're great.
But they're solid universal audio. As you can see, I've got plenty of UA stuff.
Yeah.
There's the 4710, which similar to the 710, except.
Right.
4 of them, and they have a few other little...
A little bit of compression, I think, right?
Yeah, the 4 has compression, and you get to sort of choose between a tube and a solid state sound, which...
gimmicky?
Kind of.
Yeah.
What else is cool is the Ure, that's an LA-22.
LA-22.
Below it, which is...
Never seen that in my life.
Yeah, these are cool.
Wow.
They're the sort of later day compressor. It's fantastic on vocals.
Okay, is that a stereo compressor or is it just one? Okay.
Yeah, stereo. And then I have 2 other, it's JBL/Ure.
Oh, okay.
No way. Which are 7110.
How are they related? JBL and Ure?
Made by the same company, which went through some changes.
No kidding.
Now, you know, it's not like your classic 1176, which I have in stereo.
Right. Oh, okay. All right, let's let Jay move over so we can talk about this, because so much cool stuff here.
You got to start with the Day King, which is just a solid sort of slightly API.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah,
so this, I saw one of these at Tim Foy's place. He was raving about it.
Yeah, they're just so solid.
Yeah, like 4 channels.
Everything through it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
These GAP Golden Age
I used to have the same ones.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they were great.
I replaced the output transformers with Carnhill.
Oh, cool.
Transformers. They sound great. I use them for bass.
Yeah.
Mainly bass, and sometimes I'll send stuff through it just to kind of color it a bit.
Right.
Then these are awesome. These are Phoenix Audio.
I've heard of them, but I've never seen them around too much. What are the options on here?
Well, oops. Yeah, we're good. You've got, there's a gain knob. And then there's an output knob.
Okay, so and then what's over here? A little bit of EQ?
Then we have EQ.
No way.
And it's quite ingenious because there's like toggle switches to select either the frequency. So typically you'll have like 3 frequencies you can pick.
Okay, so it's our high to low. Okay. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
10K, 15K.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Then,
I like when they pre-select it. Same with
makes it easy.
With like this guy's here, but I like when they pre-select it. Or this one here too. Yeah.
Or you drive yourself crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then again, more universal audio stuff.
710s. Is that the same as this?
Similar, very similar circuit. And then we have the LA610,
I love it.
I use on vocals a lot.
Yeah. It's a great unit.
Get a decent sound out of them. And then I've got these Dizengoff D4 pre's, which are sort
I
of...
love the build of these things.
Yeah.
Look at that light. I mean, we don't even need lights for the camera. We could have just used those.
Yeah, they're bright, that's for sure, especially on the compressors.
Yeah, it's great.
But it's very, very simple. I mean, it's basically
Look at that.
volume, bit of trim, which it'll kind of knock off or add maybe 2 dB. It's like minimal tweaking.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just got the switch.
What do you use these for, and why 2?
Ooh, I've used, why 2? Stereo.
You got 2 of everything almost.
Stereo, yeah.
When it comes to pre's, eh?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because I think in stereo.
Right.
You know?
That's good. That's safe.
Yeah, and they're usually pretty well matched. I do have, maybe not with these, but some of them have the ability to link 2 together.
Oh, okay.
So that they are, in fact, governed by the same...
Right. Sorry, I was asking, what do you use these on?
Guitar, keyboards, backing vocals. I haven't put vocals through them yet, like lead vocals.
Right.
But I have no reason to think it wouldn't sound awesome.
Oh, man.
But guitars and keys.
So cool.
Acoustic guitar. Amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Where did you get them from? Because they're a little harder to get in Canada.
Well, they're made in the States.
Yeah.
Moog Audio. Montreal. Yeah, they carried them.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And in fact, by the time you figured sort of shipping from the States, the exchange and everything, it was actually, their prices were pretty good.
Which kind of ticks me off because Chicago's not that much further than Montreal, right? It's like, it's crazy.
And then below, we've got some more dynamic control.
Are these?
These are Chameleon Lab compressors. The 7720 is like a bus compressor.
Oh.
It's a stereo compressor.
No
and
way.
it does the job quite well.
That's cool.
And then this is a 2-channel or also stereo compressor.
Interesting.
Guitars.
What's that, a 7802?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, wow.
So this is, I find it's useful on guitars, keys.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the GAP again.
And these are compressors? What type of compressors are those?
Tube compression.
Okay, Comp 54.
Yeah.
What were they modeled after, do you know?
After a Neve compressor.
Oh, okay.
A 54.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
They're great.
You don't see them very often. I see these a lot.
Yeah, the pre's more than the compressors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're a cool company.
Decent. These things, of course, need no introduction.
I actually, now that
1176.
Now that you say it, very rarely have I ever seen a 1176.
Yeah, it's a stereo or, again, individual.
That must be a pricey fella, eh?
Well, the stuff doesn't fall from heaven, I wish it did.
That's really
why
cool.
we have...
Because more often I see this, the 610 and then the 1176 here.
That's right.
Right, so, and you can use them individually?
Correct.
Or linked?
Yeah. And what's beautiful, they have a 1-to-1 ratio.
Oh, okay.
In other words...
It's not doing anything.
It's not doing anything compressor-wise, but just going through the circuit.
And I think
when I mix down, I put my drum bus through those.
Oh, okay.
And again, it just sounds killer.
No way.
Yeah.
And that's where you're at right now, 1-to-1, is that right?
Yeah, I must have just been working on some
really cool
mixes or something.
And more Dizengoff here.
More Dizengoff. These
I used to have one of these, DHCC4s. They're very cool.
Yeah, they're like the Verimu compressor, also a tube compressor.
Don't they just look intimidating? Or they should be on a submarine.
Yeah, or a science fiction movie. Yeah. But they sound great on guitars.
Yeah?
I put
I bet.
Mickey DeSadist of Forgotten Rebels fame was over laying down some guitar tracks for Chris Houston.
Yeah.
And boy, they just get so raunchy.
No way.
Now, which means they're not so great for mixing mastering.
No?
Well,
too unpredictable?
On individual instruments, but not on a bus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're just too hot.
Yeah.
They distort rather quickly.
Right.
Which can sound really good on some sources.
Yeah.
they get a little furry.
I found that, you couldn't feed it too hot of a signal. You always had to have the dim on or something. And,
you got to be careful.
And the growl and glow, that's a cool option.
They definitely enhance the sound.
Man, I really love your collection of stuff. And
it's a lot of different flavors.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. But it's some really cool stuff, and it looks like, in addition to the board, and the board's got most of your EQ, right?
Yeah.
Where do you do most of your EQ? With the board or in plugins?
A bit of both.
Yeah?
A bit of both.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool.
You know, it's really a matter, I mean, like we were joking before, you know, someone I respect told me, like, you can have $1 million studio, but studio across the street could be a $2 million studio.
Right.
So you're just chasing your tail if you're going for gear. I mean, there is some amazing gear, but it's also a matter of, you know, what's realistic, what works, what's achievable, what, you know, the ideal is not always attainable, so what do? And I find that, you know, I focus on getting, like, good sound without a lot of muss and fuss. And
well, if you can't make a great record with this stuff, then the problem is not the gear.
Absolutely. I think that's absolutely
what I like,
right.
You know, there's a lot of studios around, but what I like about certain studios is when they go for boutique pieces, because there's not many, if not any, in town with this kind of stuff, or at least with this combination, and I think that's important.
And then again, they all have their different flavors, and they, you know, they all have their place. It's nice to have different flavors or different colors in a brush, you know.
Is this a place to put your coffee, or does it get used?
I play with it.
Is this a bottle opener here?
It's actually a pretty good sounding machine.
Yeah,
and it's
16 channels?
It's a great shape, 16 channel half inch. I mean, you know, it's an early sort of home studio or quasi-pro.
Right.
Although records have been made on it, like charting records.
Yeah, I wonder if
back in the day.
Yeah, I wonder if it was Beck's first record that was done on one of these, if I'm remembering. But anyway, no, you're probably right.
But again, sometimes just putting signal through it, you know, the circuitry itself is nice sounding.
Well, it looks cool.
And it looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah, but I don't put my coffee on it.
You got to tell me that's intentional. A little bit of the red and orange, the orange in your logo, red and black down here.
You get a shot of the logo.
Yeah, we'll get that. But I think there's something about it, the kind of music you do and all the black gear.
Yeah, man. Well,
it's good. You got a brand.
Well, but it's white walls.
Yeah, like, that's true.
Some people say it's boring. Why don't I have posters? You know. Yeah. But I'm like, you go to Abbey Road. You look at pictures of the Beatles at Abbey Road, and the walls were pretty antiseptic.
Yeah.
And part of that is who's going to come in. I mean, it could be a jazz artist one day.
Right.
Could be heavy metal the next day. So I just don't put anything
I like it.
I just don't put anything out,
I like it. Thanks a lot for having us. You got a great place here.
Thank you very much.
I was so excited to come by and check it out. Because
bring a guitar next time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll let you hear some stuff.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Cool.
Thanks a lot.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jay.